Hi, I'm Mike Miller. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for watching the show. I really appreciate it, and I hope you'll check out some of the other shows that I've done. My guest today is a very talented man that's been playing around town, playing at LSA and on Denton Radio, and I'm honored to have Kent Crawford here today, man. Thank you for being here.
Nice to meet you, Michael.
So,
Stephen. Stephen Michael Miller.
So you have a fascinating background. We've been talking the last hour or so, but how did things really get started for you in music?
The 60s. The
60s, yeah.
I would say probably 1967, 1968, two very important things happened, and that was I was given this old rotted guitar that was on a neighbor's house, and we lived in next to Newport Beach on Campus Drive, which was by John Wayne Airport.
Yeah.
And so I was like 2 feet high, and I had this big old beat up guitar. And at the same time, I was sitting in the back of my older brother's Volkswagen Bug, and he was playing an 8-track of the Buffalo Springfield, and that's when I first discovered Neil Young's voice, and that's kind of where it started. And I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew what I wanted to be, and of course, the Beatles were a huge part of that. But the Buffalo Springfield at that time was like the West Coast Beatles of that time. That was our band.
And wasn't it true, though, that Neil Young released some songs through the Buffalo Springfield and they wouldn't let him sing? They had some other guys sing, and then when Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young got together, he really released those songs and he sang them?
I think in the early days, what I remember, by reading and researching, is that Neil Young, in the beginning, it's just kind of like you said, he could, but anyway, I think the first track that he ever did was a song called "Burned," and that was on the first LP, and he just kept doing it. But he would write songs like "Nowadays Clancy Can't Even Sing," and he wrote these wonderful songs. And then, and say Richie Furay would sing them, but they all sang together. They were a brilliant group, and you just can't get that back. And it was just an extraordinary
They had harmonies
time.
going on, yeah.
Sure. And it just led to, it was just a wild time for them. And but I was also influenced at that same time by all the bands that were playing at the Sunset Strip. Iron Butterfly, Big Brother, there was just so many good things happening at once. And of course, I was pretty young, so I couldn't go see them, but I, heard the records, and so I had these older brothers that had about 13 years on me, so that's how I was influenced by their records, and Top 40 that was coming out on the radio at that time. For instance, I remember, it was 1968, and I remember being, my mother had this car, and it was a 62 Buick Skylark, and it had a keyless ignition, and you could turn the ignition on accessory and turn the radio on. And I wasn't really permitted to do that, but I would go jump in the back. It was a convertible, so I'd jump in the back and turn the radio on, and I'd hide. And that's how I heard songs like Incense and Peppermint and Cherry Cherry by Neil Diamond, and just Venus, all these just this explosion of music, and I really was fond too when I heard "On the Way Home" by the Buffalo Springfield. I really admired how much I admired Richie Furay. I always said one day I'm going to meet Richie Furay and say thank you, because that probably was a big inspiration, just that one song for some reason. And Neil did write that song.
Yeah.
And haven't met Richie yet. One day, Richie, I'll meet you. And Richie is he's pastor in Broomfield, Colorado.
Really, yeah.
And a good one, and a good one. He's a very, very, very loving, wonderful person, and it'd be an honor to meet him. And
but one of the guys with Crazy Horse.
Oh, that's Ralph Molina, and Ralph is speaking of influences, and Ralph is a good friend of mine. I've never met Ralph, but I admire Ralph, and he's probably one of the best drummers out there. You know, he's one of those guys that will reach out to his fans, and sure, I could admire Elvis or Paul McCartney and all these great people that but I admire the ones the most that reach out to their fans.
Sure.
And Ralph is one of those. And
he's communicated with him via email.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, I hung out with Sky Saxon, and he was another one. He was like a free spirit, but didn't mind reaching out to his fans.
What was the song they had?
Oh, the Seeds, featuring Sky Saxon back in the day. I believe it was 69 or 70. Was pushing too hard.
Pushing Too Hard.
That's a genuine oldies classic.
Yeah.
And Sky isn't with us today, but I tell you what, he was a free spirit. And this is up in Seattle. This is up in Shoreline, Washington, where I met him, and he was just like I said, just a I want to say flamboyant. He wasn't overly flamboyant. He just was a free thinker, free spirit, and it was just something else to meet him. At the same time, I was helping a film crew at the Ballard Firehouse where I used to play. I had an old Kinks tribute band, and we'd go up and we'd play like 20 or 30 minutes of Kinks, and then we'd play like about 45 minutes of the Doors.
Oh, uh-huh.
And so we were kind of like this split tribute band. And I think I probably had the first Kinks tribute band on the West Coast that I know of.
And that's become a big thing these days.
Well, it is. Yeah, it has now.
Yeah.
Certainly, because Ray Davies, I know they got Sunny Afternoon and all these, Broadway or theater things are huge. And this particular day, I got to meet Robbie Krieger.
Oh, really?
This is 2002.
Yeah, of the Doors.
Robbie Krieger of the Doors. I got to sit down and talk to him, and actually had dinner with him. And another example of a person that's very influential to you, but will sit down and talk to you and reach out to you, kind of like Ralph Molina. And I admire those ones the most. Though that means a lot to me so if somebody gives me gives me a compliment, I try to or wants to chat or whatever, if they really like what I do, I think it's important to reach out and certainly not ignore your fans. That's important. I think so. It's
they shouldn't let it go to their heads so much.
Right, but see, it's like when you take artists like Neil Young himself, and or Ray Davies. These are very busy people. Yeah. And also, there's risk and stuff. They don't, I can't, you don't invite somebody into your home that you don't know. No. This is, we live, when I turned 20 years old and was finding out that, okay, well, here I am. It's 1980 or whatever, and we're living in the age of information. And today we kind of live in the age of scrutiny. And that, after 9/11 and everything, that's just kind of the way things are. Yeah. And so I, musically, I always played as I was growing up, guitars, drums. I'm a multi-instrumentalist. And I had trouble fitting in bands when I was a teenager and going into my 20s. I found out that it was when I started writing. I didn't even start writing real solid songs till 1996, and of course the digital age took over, and then I was able to teach and be taught to digitally produce myself with a co-producer named Nathan Shoemaker, and this is in Kennewick, Washington, in 2006. So I've been in the game for about 11 years. Yeah. And raising kids during the time, and it was hard work. It's now I kind of lost myself for a second, but I don't know, you got another question for me?
Well, I have noticed that, I mean, you've played at LSA a few times and done the Denton radio thing. And
I love Denton radio.
And then you came down to the Abbey Jam and jammed with some people, and you did a couple of Neil Young songs, and these guys were playing with you, and I thought that was pretty impressive how that all worked out.
I think we did about 20 minutes of Down by the River, but
yeah.
just the lead parts and stuff.
Some great players down there, yeah.
Abbey Underground's fun for their acoustic open mics, and so is. But LSA is really the funnest to me, because there's people, and it's like a party.
Yeah.
But it's a family thing, and
you see the courthouse in the background.
Oh, it's a wonderful stage. View, yeah. Love the stage, and the talent's great. I can't tell you how many great musicians I've seen and heard play there.
Oh yeah.
And also, but going back to DentonRadio.com, that's a fun night too. I don't miss that one, because it's just you got Trevor and you got Ellie, and that's a kick. I like that one. And of course we had I visited Audacity regular, and so yeah, Denton's a place for to pick up your guitar and get out and then so I get the best of both worlds, because I love to record too. A lot of people don't like the studio, and I like the studio.
It's tedious work.
It can be. Sometimes you gotta put it down and walk away from it and do something else, like wash the car or mow the lawn. And but that's pretty much. So between now, for the first time, I feel like I have a balance. I can play live. I can. And then work in the studio. So that's the works for 2017, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. Are you trying to form a band at this time to?
Not necessarily trying to form a band, because I've always been solo, and I've had to go down the route where I have to produce everything pretty much on my own. But I am opening up my mind to bringing other people in.
Yeah.
And I know a keyboardist that I've been admiring for a while. His name's Brian King. He's a local artist here, and he's very talented. And I thought maybe I could have him in the studio and work on some tracks. And so I'm opening up to that. I'm open to that. But a lot of the stuff, like simple keys and stuff like that, I basically do it all myself.
That's good.
And
did you take piano lessons as a kid, or you just kind of taught yourself?
I taught myself.
Yeah.
I taught myself. My first piano lesson was, believe it or not, it was in the '80s, and I think I was 20. My mother sent us to Los Angeles from Orange County to go pick up a piano in a 1959 farm truck. Well, there wasn't room, so I had to sit in the back. We didn't have any straps, and I sat in the back of the truck holding this upright, big old piano that weighed about 400 pounds.
Yeah.
And we took this turn, and it fell on me. So I'm pinned with this piano.
Really?
And I'm like, a little help here. And we had to stop the truck and had to pull the piano off me to. So that was my first piano lesson.
Yeah, that was a lesson for sure.
And so I started playing that one, and then so I wouldn't even say that I play supple. I play basic, very basic. I don't play brass or horns or winds or anything like that, except maybe some harp, harmonica, which even then it's basic for do like backing tracks with that. And I mainly stick to guitars acoustically, electrically, and bass. So my recordings have a foundation, and of course as a drummer, I can play drums on my recordings and work those out for the style of music that I like to produce.
Yeah, you know what kind of feel you want and all that. Well, I appreciate you coming down here, and I'm going to get out of the way and let you play some music for us.
Okay.
And thank you guys for watching, and hope you're having a great day. And this will be the weekend where we're having the Folk Festival in Denton at the Jago House, and it'll be history by the time this show airs, but we hope that the Denton Songwriter Guild plans on having more of these in the future, and it's a great bunch of people. So you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.
In the darkest night, you will find your way. In the light of day, you'll be afraid. By the light of the moon, danger's coming soon. You'll be all alone in your bedroom. And you run away, and you run away to somewhere. And you know you're scared. No one really cares. We were fools to think that we were strong. Ask your mom and dad about the times they had. They were wrong to think they were wrong. And you run away, and you run away to somewhere. And you run away, and you run away to nowhere. You run away. It's time to go. Once I dreamed I was with you, and all our dreams all come true. Once I dreamed there was lightning in the sky, and the forest was filled with rain. Nothing else felt quite the same. Once I dreamed there was lightning in the sky. And I don't know between day or night, day or light, day or night. And then soon it came to end. The shattered lives were on the mend. Once I dreamed there was lightning in the sky. Once I dreamed there was lightning in the sky. Once I dreamed there was lightning in the sky.
Okay, now we're going to go down memory lane. Song by Mr. Neil Young.
Oh man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Oh man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Oh man, look at my life, 24 and there's so much more. Live alone in a paradise that makes me think of two. Love lost such a cost. Give me things that don't get lost, like a coin that won't get tossed, rolling home to you. I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. Now one look in my eyes and you can tell that's true. Lullaby, look in your eyes, run around the same old town. Doesn't mean that much to me, to mean that much to you. I've been first and last, look at how the time goes past. But I'm all alone at last, rolling home to you. I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. Now one look in my eyes and you can tell that's true. Oh man, look at my life. I'm I'm a lot like you were. Oh man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Well, hello, Mr. Soul, I dropped by to pick up a reason for the thought that I caught that my head is the event of the season. Lying crowd, just a trace on my face could seem so pleasing. I'll cop out to the change, but a stranger is putting the tease on. I was down on a frown when my messenger brought me a letter. I was fazed by the face of a fan who said I had set her. Any girl in the world could have easily known me better. She said, you're strange, but don't change, and I let her. In a while, with a smile on my face, turned to plaster. Stick around while the clown who is sick does the trick of disaster. For the rays of my head and my face is moving much faster. It's a strange odds to change, I don't know. Why don't you ask her? It's a strange odds to change, I don't know. Why don't you ask her? It's a strange odds to change, I don't know. Why don't you ask her? It's a strange odds to change, I don't know. Why don't you ask her? Come on, lover, can't you see that the time is late? Let's run for cover. I want you and I just can't wait. Please decide, don't try to hide. Love me, you can make the time. Don't pretend everybody's your friend. Just pick one and explore them eyes. And don't try to understand why. It's just the night and some chemistry. Quit stalling because I think I'm falling in love with you like it's supposed to be. Please decide, don't try to hide. Love me, you can make the time. Don't pretend everybody's your friend. Just pick one and explore them eyes. Come on, lover, can't you see that the time is late? Let's run for cover. I want you and I just can't wait.
Follow your dreams, and they say, do what you want, and money will come.